And here for his monthly visit, Congressman Scott Perry. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, RJ. You got everybody amped up on Monday morning with the tunes there. Little Aerosmith. Oh, no, that's The Hair of the Dog by Nazareth.
That's right. Now you're messing with,
Yeah, exactly. R.J. Harris. Right?
No, Holly knew exactly what she was doing, man. You know that she is the queen of the bumper music, and she always she knows when you're going to be on, and she always plays stuff that you love.
Well, everybody loves it, right? That's why they're listening to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and yes, I mean I do love that stuff. Hey, I was talking about Joe Biden. This is Congressman Scott Perry. Was talking about Joe Biden being in Harrisburg and how one of the folks they interviewed said that she was concerned about the economy and her grandchildren and great-grandchildren's future. Man, she's rooting for the wrong guy.
Yeah, I will tell you, it's interesting. Like the president of the United States comes in quietly to the capital city, just meets with a few folks, a few organizations. Of course, he's coming to friendly territory. I'm serving with now a bunch of members of Congress on the Democrat side that are calling for him to leave. But, of course, our governor is not, and our governor is giving the keynote speech at the convention where he will likely be nominated. At the same time, here's what the other side of the coin is, RJ. Since Joe Biden took office, inflation has risen by at least 20.1%. So think about every single dollar you have, you're getting 20 cents less worth of value out of it, which this is what that adds up to, $1,000 a month more than for just the basics every household had to spend since President Biden took office. I mean, things like mortgages. The mortgage rate has climbed to over 7% nationally, and people simply can't afford. Affordability is now at record low. People literally can't buy a home anymore, RJ. So that's what people are feeling. That and I've been crying it from the rooftops. The people in central Pennsylvania are suffering under the policies. You literally can't pay your electricity bill, your food bill, your gas bill, and your daycare bill. You're trying to figure out how, if something breaks on the car or your home, you can't afford to fix it. So your credit card bills are going through the roof. I mean, that's what people are dealing with now because of Joe Biden's presidency.
What is your take on the Saudis not taking, well, they take the American dollar, but not exclusively anymore. They take other currency for oil. Do you think that's really going to have the effect that many talk about?
Well, the history is that as it's called, the petrodollar came into existence during the Nixon administration when we went off the gold standard and said we could just print any amount of money. Now, that worked as long as America kept its fiscal house in order, but we're adding $1 trillion in debt every single 100 days, $1 trillion every 100 days of new debt. And what that does is that makes every dollar that you have of less value, it's worth less. The Saudis know that. And so they're willing to hedge their bets and say, well, we'll look at other currencies because that one's not what it used to be. And we don't want to lose money if they're going to continue to devalue their currency by printing money and spending money that they don't have. Again, it goes back to the policies of Joe Biden. And quite honestly, you know this, RJ, I've been in Congress now. It's been my long-standing fight, spending money that we don't have on things that we can't afford and likely don't need, but we just keep doing it. I vote no when it's appropriate, but the vast majority of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, are willing to spend this money that we don't have, and the Saudis are reacting to that. So is the world market.
So do you think that'll ever really change, given that there are as many Republicans? First of all, thank you for holding the line. All the years that we've known you, you've not changed your position. This has been the same. You've always been very, very, it's not a matter of conservative. It's a matter of common sense about spending money. But what about these others? Well, and that's one of the complaints that people have about Republicans. And I'm sure you hear it often. They're the same as the Democrats.
Well, when it comes to spending, I can't. Not every single Republican, obviously, but I can tell you the other party is in lockstep. So they will always want to spend more money, and they stick together in that. And most people do realize that. But if there's any salvation in this, it has to come from the Republican Party, because the other one is just they want to go even further. So while I disagree with some of my colleagues on their position, at least there's a chance of righting the ship. And you know, it comes down to the individual member that you vote for. I mean, like you said, I haven't changed my position. Now, if you listen to my opponents, they'll tell you all kinds of different positions that they say I've had. But you know, RJ, I haven't changed my position on this or any of the other important matters. I do what I think is the right thing. This is the people that I work for and have to face at the grocery store and at the gas station. I have to face them. It's their money, and I don't want to ever have to say to them, well, it didn't matter that you couldn't afford your bills. You know, the federal government needed this. And like I said, when they're struggling, I don't know how some of these members, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, justify voting for this exorbitant spending.
We're on the phone with Congressman Scott Perry. Congressman Perry, during an election year and all that's going on with Biden and the debate and all that, everything else seems to get lost in the shuffle. Are there any real important hot-button things that need to be taken care of in this Congress?
Well, absolutely. You know, we did pass the most important and the most secure border security bill ever passed out of Congress. Now, Chuck Schumer won't bring it up in the Senate, and President Biden won't even discuss it. Meanwhile, we have a border wide open with fentanyl pouring in. You know, not only the drugs, but criminals and likely terrorists, people on the terrorist watch list. And we've seen some of the fallout for that recently right here in Pennsylvania. It makes our streets unsafe. There was a lady killed, I think, in her mid-30s, about 63 miles from here on a rail trail. This is not a border state in the classic sense, but yet it is in that sense. I mean, yeah, we have the border with Canada and Lake Erie, but the southern border is affecting the safety and welfare of the people right here in central Pennsylvania. And of course, you know, the spending perennially. We are working on the spending bills right now, RJ, and every single vote, you know, for me, if we're not working and I don't see some progress in actually trimming what we're doing and reducing the amount of spending. Understand, record revenues came in during the Trump administration during the tax cut. So it's not a revenue problem. It is a spending problem. We're dealing with that right now because people's budgets are being stretched and they can't make it. RJ, we have to consider power consumption in Pennsylvania. We got a power station just south of us in Maryland that's going to close in 1 year. And the answer from the federal government is that Pennsylvania has to produce more power and chew up more of our farm ground to send it to Maryland. That's unacceptable to me. We can produce enough power in the United States of America, but this Green New Deal policy is going to make your electricity bill go further and further up, and you're going to have less access to power while the federal government is telling you to use more electricity. It is an outrage. And so, yeah, there are huge issues that we're grappling with every single day.
All right. I have to let you go, but please do get that AM radio bill out for a vote. I understand time is running out, but most representatives would pass it.
Yeah, I agree with you, RJ, and I probably should have mentioned that to you in my priorities, shouldn't I?
Well, no, that's okay. But yes. All right. Thank you, Scott. You take care. We'll talk to you soon.
You do well. God bless you.
You too. God bless you. Congressman Scott Perry.